It's now live.
Are you already live?
Yes, indeed.
All right. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to episode 2.
Episode 2 of
A
Box of Topics.
Well, you never know what you're gonna get.
Ah,
That'd be so funny if I have to go to like I'm walking up to the Secretary of State or something like, hey, I'd like to copyright this name real quick.
I mean, you start getting popular. That is something
Yeah.
you probably should copyright that right now.
Yeah.
Cause just in case.
Because like how in the show She-Hulk, she got copyrighted on her own name.
Yeah.
That
happens
joke
all
was
the time.
crazy.
That's based on, it's based on true stories. Because you have some athletes that can't even get their own name because somebody else has copyrighted it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What was like another thing I remember? Oh, one of my friends was telling me about one of the sodas. I think it was Sierra Mist. It changed to it's not Mellow Yellow, but it's one of those other things, like one of those other drinks what they call like an off-brand Sprite.
Mm-hmm.
I'm forgetting what it's called off the top of my head.
I don't drink lemon lime pop, so I don't know.
Yeah, but it'll come to me. It'll come to me at some point. But yeah, like they used to be called Sierra Mist, and now they have to change the name because somebody on OnlyFans copyrighted the name Sierra Mist for themselves.
Ooh.
That's why I'm like, that is funny.
But people do that. I mean, you gotta stay. This electronic game that's out here now, you gotta really be ahead of it because people. I mean, you get the little savvy people, they'll own you, and you'll be like, "Wait, what just happened?" They be on it. They copyright the name domains. Is that what? When you try to get something on the website, is it still called a domain?
I don't know.
And I'm from the 1890s, so or 1820s.
Everything changes so quick.
So fast. Yeah, I'm back on RAM and ROM and floppy disk.
Floppy disk?
Yeah.
I was on the edge of that, stuff like that. Like, it took me a minute to...
You was not alive during that.
No. I experienced a little bit of it.
You might have heard of it. Or somebody that you was around maybe had some old technology, but trust me, you weren't even alive.
No. I experienced it because I remember I remember messing around with like one of the computers. It was like a
IBM
HP computer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it had like the little disc port where you could put disc and all that. I even have a game right now that's meant to go inside of a PC or a computer. And it took me a minute to realize that like laptops don't have that anymore. Like they used to, but they don't, and it threw me off.
That's because that's an old one. Yeah, I know exactly which computer you're talking about. That was the first computer I ever bought.
What?
Yep.
I'm glad I got experience.
So we've been through so many since then, but I know which one you're talking about. It did take RAM disk and ROMs and the floppies and it was boy. Compared to now, them big old things, and it only held like a small amount of material. But the material was really small at that time too, because now you can hold a whole library on a little flash disk on a keychain.
Which funny enough, even though I don't see a lot of ROM disk nowadays, they're still very prevalent today. Cause
where
online, cause yeah, they're like ROM files now, and that's how I'm able to play a whole bunch of old games on my computer. Any old games that I don't have or I don't feel like buying, I can just download like a ROM file. And
okay. You talking about ROM files? Now that's something different compared to the technology they had out back in the day.
Yeah, I feel like
because when you say ROM files, I'm like, who is still circulating it? What is it? Somebody that was under a rock for like 80 years and was like, oh, let me just circulate this stuff. You can't even find a computer that's in circulation now unless you save one that will play a floppy disk or you get CDs are still relevant. You can still do that, but a floppy?
I mean, nowadays I feel like the only things that play floppy disk are like old video game consoles.
Nope, not even that. Mm-mm. No, those was completely something different. Hey, if somebody out there is got a computer that has a they use floppy disk, oh please, I want to hear from you. Like, what are you using it for? What are you running? What are you like? And then the pixels on that computer has got to be oh
It's like a very old timey, what a retro kind of feel to it, you know?
beyond retro. I feel like that's like horse and buggy. I don't.
Exactly. Like
I
that's
don't
you can
you
appreciate
got
it.
retro like 90s where people like Valley Girls and like Hey Dude
Pixels
and
and
surfers and stuff. And then you got stuff like Bug and Horse and Buggy. Like that's beyond
horse and
retro.
carriage. Yeah, why not?
Oh no. Oh no.
It helps you appreciate.
People who lived in horse and carriage days and all that working in the field and all that other kind of stuff, kudos to you. I cannot. Even my friends who be like, oh yeah, I like camping and roughing it. If there's no electricity and no hot and cold running water, don't take me to that. I don't want to be there. No,
You know, we're
thank you.
about to spend a whole evening in the forest without our phones. Are you
That's yeah,
crazy?
no. Mm-mm. I can't. I can't. And even like I be hearing about people going into places and stuff where they who wildlife and all that. No, I don't want bears and deer and all that in my
Tigers and
house,
bears.
and I'm sure they don't want me in theirs. No, thank you.
I
Mm-mm.
only went to the zoo like maybe twice in my entire life, and I think I'm good. Because like there was the one time I went to the zoo with like you guys, and another time I went to kind of a zoo. I think at Cedar Point. Something. It was some other like little field trip. All I know is I got to pet a rabbit. That's all I wanted.
You
That
ain't
was
even
it.
gotta go to the zoo for petting rabbits.
True, but that's all I wanted to do, and I got to do it, and I don't have to go back.
When you first said I was at the zoo, I was like, "What you mean, your school? Like
Mm,
public schools?" Ooh.
you know what? I think I know the next funniest topic, which would be what was the I don't even want to say wildest story. 'Cause I'm not even trying to have YouTube be like, what? What is? But what was just the craziest incident you can think of that happened during school?
During school?
Mm,
For me?
just period.
Oh, I mean, it was always. I don't think school fights really count because those are so common.
True, but I mean, depends on how the school fight went. Because man, I
Hmm.
there were some special ones.
There are. I don't know. School fights is kind of up there for me. I'm trying to think. What was the wildest thing during my school years? I can't really even think of any because I mean, high school. I'm not gonna even lie. I skipped a lot of high school, a lot of class. So
Sure, I skipped all of fifth grade, so
yeah, so it's like I know in elementary school though, I did get into a fight. And I got into a fight with this boy who was fighting me because we both like the same boy.
ah,
And he I was trying to just play it cool because I was a quiet, shy type.
mm,
I was always super quiet,
don't want to mess with
really
those.
shy, didn't really talk to a lot of people, kept to myself, all that. Smart girl, was doing well, had good grades. And so the whole day the boy just kept on messing with me, and so I was telling the counselor while I'm standing right there in front of the counselor. He walks up behind me and hits me in my back so hard. You know how you hear that thump?
Yeah,
Yeah. And I'm looking at the counselor like, hello. And he didn't say nothing. He was like, go to class. I was like, okay. Because mind you, before that even happened, I was walking into the class and he walked and smashed me between the door and him. and was like, "Oops, sorry."
One of those where he's ramming into you.
Yeah, and then
It's not like you
another.
can't hear someone hitting you. Like your body's kind of hollow. Like same way of hitting a drum. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
And then it was a lot. It just the whole day he just kept on throwing stuff at me and all this. So he said something. We was in home ec. He said something,
Mm-hmm.
and two of the it was two boys grabbed this arm, my left arm,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the bigger boys grabbed my because it was a big boy in our class. His
Mm-hmm.
name was Daryl McKenzie. He grabbed my other arm, and he took that opportunity to get close to me, and he took his one finger and scratched me on my nose. And when I say, I think the other two boys was Brian and Roscoe. I think that's their names. They both came with me when I was making that punch. I brought both of them with me, and I punched him, and then I went with the other arm. I brought Daryl with me because Daryl was he was definitely my size plus half. I brought him with me and punched him again. Then they pulled me back, and I was going after him, they pulled me back, and when they did, then I started kicking
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, enough is enough. And the home ec teacher, she was pregnant. She was looking at me like, I am so shocked at you. I don't expect this from you. I said, he been messing with me all day. We had went past the point. Like,
Mm-hmm. Like at this point, he's asking for it. Like, go ahead,
not
hit me,
not asking for it.
begging.
What I always say is I try to stay off to myself, but he came and packed my stuff for me and put it in a suitcase and took me in the suitcase and dragged me over to where we were, where the situation was happening. He made me go there.
Mm-hmm.
I was definitely trying to stay over there and mind my business. It was like, okay. Yeah. And then so they took me to the counselor, and the counselor was telling me how much trouble I was in. I was gonna be suspended. And at this point, I was cussing because it's like I'm about to be kicked out anyway. So, and he told me, "Watch your language, young lady." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "You see these scratches on my face?" I said, "I told you earlier that this person had been harassing me the whole day." Now, mind you, I'm what, sixth, seventh grade, and I'm using words like harassing. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, he's been harassing me the whole day. I was like, ooh, I can't wait till I get home and tell my mama and my uncle. I was like, yeah, my uncle's 6'4" and 300 pounds. He gonna come up here and he gonna want to talk to you. So then the counselor then decided that I was no longer in trouble.
300. Well, hey, hold on a sec.
So then he decided then that I just need to stay in the office for the rest of the day and calm down. And then he had my mother come pick me up. I was like, okay. And then so I told my mother what happened. Of course, she wasn't pleased. She still went down there and gave him her 2 cents. And needless to say, that was just like one of my experiences. That was like, I think it was like junior high or something like that. It was low grade. Yeah, but I never had like wild times, like super wild. I mean, I've known of people,
Yeah.
uh,
Or like
like
probably witness something.
it wasn't me, but I saw people leaving off school campus and they go to McDonald's and all this other kind of stuff. Wasn't me though. I wasn't involved in it. I was a good girl.
Yeah,
I
like
stay in class.
I'd
Wink,
be the
wink.
same. That's funny. I'd be the same way. And then like the one of the few crazy things that was like school involved. Like I'd be seeing people. Like we had like this computer little section in the library, and then the upper section. Me and my friends, this is during our lunchtime. We ate our lunch. We still had a lot of time. We didn't want to be in the lunchroom. We went to the library. And then they'd be like, what y'all doing? Studying. Okay. We wasn't studying. We were playing computer games with each other, having a
Of
nice
course.
time. So while we sitting there playing computer games with each other, all of us doing whatever, we're hearing a lot of tussling behind us. I turn around, and in the upper level of the computer part, there's these two girls fighting each other. One of them trying to throw the other one off the balcony and everything. And I'm just like, wow. So what character y'all picking? Like, I ain't care. You can't pick them. That's cheating. But like at the same time, and then the only reason why it caught my attention is because, any fight in high school, whatever. It's the fact that I saw security guards running in. They were huffing it like they had somewhere to be. And I'm like, what are y'all running so fast for? Oh, wow.
Right.
That's crazy.
For the fight.
To be fair, one of the girls did not get thrown off. Unfortunately, that would have made for good publicity. But
now, I was definitely a lame in high school, but when I got out of high school, oh my God, some of the stuff I see in my youth and early adulthood, and it was some crazy times when I was underage and I used to go to this bar. I guess I can say what the bar was because it no longer exists. It was the Rado. And if you live in Detroit, everybody underage would go to the Rado because they would let you in.
crazy.
I think the first time I went, I was like 16, and we would go to the bar and just be sitting up there. And it was just like, okay, I'm in the bar, like, hey, yeah, like, hey. And you be really thinking you doing something, but once you get older and you can legally get into places and stuff, then it's like, okay,
you're doing it legally. It's not taboo. It's not fun anymore.
It's no big deal, but
weed is legal.
There's been some crazy times that I did some stuff in my early 20s because I went straight from my mama's house to my husband's house. So I didn't do a lot. But baby, when I got away from both of them, woo, it was open season. Oh, I was on the ziggity boom boom. I was going crazy. I was doing all type of stuff. And then I would hate too, like when me and not my friends, but it would be like my family. I had a cousin. He was always doing something. I mean, close to illegal, illegal, all that kind of stuff.
Always in trouble.
Well, he wouldn't always be in trouble, but he was a street person. He was always in the streets doing stuff. And the stories he would tell, like, he'd be like, yeah, we was out running some drugs and we was doing this, that, and the other. And them dudes start shooting at you. Remember when them dudes were shooting? And I'm just like,
this is casual for you?
Man, but my story was, we filled up the gas tank and took off. Like,
like his story is so wild.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's when we rode on the back of them sharks with TNT in our hand. What did you do?
Yes.
Oh, well, it was the last day of school, and I dropped all my papers on the stairs. Like,
that part, it would be like, my stories would be so lame. It just be like, I don't even want to talk about it.
Living through Fast and Furious.
Yes, and I'm up here doing a Miss Doubtfire. Like, I'm just so lame.
They told me I asked for a water cup and I filled it with soda.
Yeah, that was me. When I was a teenager, that was my stories. Like, hey, I asked for a water cup and I filled it up with Pepsi. Woo!
Yeah,
and they looking at me like,
that'd be the same thing with me. Like, my friends will have some wild, crazy stories about them doing all kinds of stupid stuff, buying guns, racing real hard, going to the forest and doing whatever, all types of crazy stuff, setting stuff on fire, putting things in the vents. And then here I am. Well, my mom told me to go to bed at 10, and I went to bed at 10:30. Hey.
Rebel!
Yeah, I'm a rebel. I'm like the rest of y'all, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I was as a kid too. I was super lame.
So you intentionally stayed out? Well, not intentionally. It was like time got away from me because I was studying and I'm still alive.
Yep, that's me too. I started out super lame, like and then the little stuff that I did as comparison to my circle, they was out there doing like real crimes, getting away from the police and stuff, right? And I'm up here, well, I was at the donut shop, and instead of getting 12, I got 14. I only paid for a dozen.
Yeah. Or I checked out this book from the library. Oh, okay, so you like start a ruckus? No, I took it home quietly. Oh, what'd you do? Like rip up the book and all types of stuff? No, I actually liked the book. It was a really good read. What'd you do? I kept it past the due date. Yeah. I didn't turn it in on time.
Right.
And then like when I did, I didn't have to pay because you cussed her out. No, because I apologized and she understood my plea. Like it be that. Like,
Exactly. That's me too. I started out super lame.
and honestly, I had a real good excuse to be that way because, well, you're my mom. And the thing I'd always think about, right? I had opportunities to do these wild, crazy stories, but at the end of the day, I have to come back home and I have to explain those stories if they don't line up with what I'm
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
all the drag racing and all that sound cool, but getting a Gucci belt flamed down, get set
Man,
on fire, it wasn't really worth it at the end of the day.
man.
I was like,
Well,
I'll just do this when I'm older.
like when I was a kid, it was okay. People would beat their kids. It was a common thing. Shoot, I remember when I was little, they used to even paddle you in school.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that, how
Yeah.
teachers used to be able to.
Yeah, you used to get and the teachers would brag on their paddles. Yeah, I got this one, and this my Friday paddle, and this my, like okay.
Oh,
There's a couple
yeah.
of teachers I would like to run into them now and be like, hey, what's
Hmm.
up on them Friday beatdowns? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I know once it started getting less, like towards my teen years, it got more like, oh, if you beat your kids and all this stuff, yeah, they'll
Abuse.
call the police on you and all this other stuff. So people, my teenage friends, they was like, oh yeah, screw my mama. She say something like that, I'm gonna call the peoples on her. My mother worked for the people, so it was like, who was I gonna call?
You know.
And I call the peoples, and they be like, is this Virginia's daughter? Oh, let me
Uh,
let her know you go.
Whoa!
Oh,
Wow! Hey, hey! Well, officer, calm down. We got to do that.
like, oh no. I was like, whatever. I just stayed off of her radar, made sure I did everything I was supposed to do because I wasn't trying to get in no trouble. I ain't had no place to run to. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, y'all wasn't gonna get me.
Then, I know there was a lot of different things that happened in my high school where it's like I wasn't even really involved with it. It'd just be a lot of Devin, you should have been there, and a bunch of crazy stories afterwards. Like somebody brought a gun to school. Wow. Somebody set this part of school on fire. Holy crap. Somebody put something in the ventilation system. That's crazy. And then the one time there was like this chain text message that I remember receiving. And at some point it was like a group of like back when the whole killer clowns things was a thing. There was a whole group of them. Had a picture and everything. And it was two different incidents. It was them and then some other student. So with the killer clowns, it was like some, oh yeah, Oak Park, we coming for y'all. And I went to Oak Park High School, so I'm like, mm-hmm. Showed it to you. It was like, I'm just not gonna go to school for the rest of the week. He was like, yeah, sounds about right. Because no, I'm not even taking that chance. No, I'm good. And then there was another time where this teacher, and not a lot of people liked him, and I can understand why. It was this old, heavy, Caucasian old man teacher named Mr. Grimm. Oh boy. Not a lot of people liked him, and for good reason. Because man was just so I don't know why he had like this sort of entitlement with him. Like, bro, you're a high school teacher. You're not a natural.
Now. There's some good high. Let's
No,
not cut down high school teachers.
no.
He
Like,
was just a terrible individual.
no. Like the high school teachers are actually, good they job. But he made it seem like he was a professor. Like, Dr. Grimm. No, bro, you're not Dr. Phil. You're not some big physician. You didn't learn about black holes. Stay in your lane. Like we're both at work. Calm down. And there was one time I was in like his robotics class. I enjoyed robotics. I didn't like him. So it was kind of like a 50-50 thing. Like I was enjoying the lessons,
Now
but
you
not the
sound
person
like
who was
your
teaching me.
brother.
You know? And it was this one really good friend of mine. Still friends with her to this day. Gotta talk to her at some point. But she kept tickling me. I'm usually ticklish. I kept moving because she kept touch. And after a minute, Mr. Davis, like, I'm not even doing anything. So then he calls me outside the class and he asked me what I'm doing. I'm like, well, that lady keeps tickling me. What do you want me to do? Like, you can move her seats or if anything. And he was like, nah, I need you out my class. I didn't even do anything. Like, I'm telling him what's happening and he's refusing to listen. So then he proceeds to tell me one of the dumbest, weirdest analogies I've ever heard in my entire life. He's like, you want to know something? excuses are like buttholes. And I'm like, I got to know where this is going. What? This is not appropriate for school at all. So he's like, some excuses are like buttholes. Do tell.
No, listening.
They
What?
stink and nobody likes them. Okay, first of all, sir, that's something that can be rectified with enough cleaning supplies. And there are some people, don't you do that. There are a lot of people, probably a lot of people in this school that don't mind them. So that's a horrible analogy.
Yeah. Well,
And
if your butthole stinks, you're not doing something right.
You know, like, what? You never heard of soap? So then there's that. And then it's like, no, and then some people don't like excuses because some, like you'd rather have the excuse than the actual reason. So, in all honesty, I think he was just looking for a reason to.
I do know some people that's like that.
Mhm.
They know the person is doing wrong and they accept all their lies and excuses because they rather hear that than the actual
Then
truth.
accept the truth because it's like, sometimes the truth hurts.
Yeah.
Or they just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah,
Right.
they just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Because once that other person actually says the truth, then it's actually real to them. And Yeah. But I'll just be like, no.
No.
A lot of times, if instead of battling with a person to make them confess something, if you know it to be true in your soul, then why do you need their confirmation to validate your reasoning?
For some people, it is like you don't it's true, but you just can't fully accept it until it's confirmed.
And see, that right there, I feel like that's a fault with the person, not with the person you seeking the truth. I feel like that's your insecurity or that's your damage that you have not fully rectified. Because once I made up my mind that you've done something, because if you stay in that situation, then y'all gonna have that hostility. Because you're in your mind thinking that they've done something wrong to you, and you're going to keep reacting to that. But if you just be like, hey, either you going to say, well, screw it, I'm gonna let it go and just stay here, or take that energy and put it towards something or someone else where you get back what you feel you need.
Yeah.
Because I never understood people staying in relationships and then they give these reasons and it's like, what? I don't get it.
I feel like a lot of people don't have, like, they're not able to understand their own true feelings or build up enough critical thinking to fully plan out, how it's going to affect. Because a lot of people always tend to think of the worst case scenario. Like, if I learn this and everything, the world's going to end. And that's usually where a lot of people get stuck. I know I had that for a minute. That's why it took me forever to find employment, because I'm over here thinking the second I step out in the streets of Detroit, I'm getting arrested, which it might happen, but a lot of times people just gotta go for things. And I even said this to somebody who had like one of those like pyramid kind of jobs, and I was like, well, first of all, she was telling me that if you always wait till you're ready, you'll never be ready. You might as well just go
for it
and just And I was like, yeah, that's a fun little thing. And I also said, for a lot of people where they have that, you can't always help someone who doesn't want to be helped. It's the fun. We could open the door for you, but it's up to you to walk through it, which isn't even something I made up. I saw it on a poster at school.
Oh, they all got a whole bunch of stuff like that. Like if you can bring
bring a horse to
water.
Good luck making them trying to drink it.
Yeah, you can't make them drink. You can do everything you want, but you can't make the sun shine. It's a lot of stuff that they say about that, how you can't force something to happen if it's not meant to actually happen.
Some things you can.
Some things, yeah, but most of if you dealing with a person who's determined not to do something, I don't care what you do, they are not going to do it.
Yep, that's
yes. I was having a discussion with somebody where they was talking about this woman was complaining that she was with this man for 9 years, and then they broke up, and then he was with this other chick for a year, and then he married her. And she was like, I put in, invested, and all this other stuff and all this. So then the dude said to her, he was like, okay, so if she was like, no, he said the feelings and everything, because you say that he was terrible to you, he didn't treat you right, all this other kind of stuff. He was like, did you want to maintain that, to be in that bubble
Mm.
in order to be married to him? She was like, because the fact that you stayed 9 years or whatever is irrelevant. Were you happy with this person? Were you satisfied? Did he fulfill your needs? Did y'all, together grow? Did y'all this, that, the other? And she was like, no. Then what difference does it make?
You know,
Maybe that other chick is putting up with some stuff you wasn't willing to put up with.
you know,
Y'all broke up for a reason.
honey, I like to wear mismatched socks. Oh, that's adorable. You know, like something. And then, I mean, that's the same thing with anything, any kind of like work or project, or even this. It's like if you're not enjoying what you're doing, you know, it's like I remember hearing this from some other YouTuber. It was like, don't go into something expecting to be owed because that's how you get really upset by something.
Disappointment. Sure.
Yes. Don't ever expect that whatever person, project, game owes you anything. Because once you feel like you are owed something and you don't get it, oh, do you blow up?
Yeah. And then, like where I work at, I work in manufacturing.
Unless they
And
actually do owe you something, then it's like, yeah.
I don't know, but I work in manufacturing. And one of the chief complaints is always somebody somewhere in there that's not working as hard as everybody else. And then people want to get upset. And they be like, oh, nobody is saying something. I said, but do you know what that person is doing to get that hookup? You never know. What if they're doing something? Are you willing to do the same thing?
You know?
And it's like, that's what you ought to think about. Because they might be doing something, to get that particular hookup. And
Hmm.
I know I'm not willing to do nothing.
No.
I'm willing to go in, do the job I'm assigned, and leave with my paycheck. And
And
that's
dignity.
it. Yeah. I'm not doing nothing extra. I'm not, no, because why? I mean, it would be different if, now, to be honest, I'm not a prude. I'm not. I mean, I'm not saying that I hold judgment for anybody that does anything, but make it worth my while. I shouldn't have to go in the back and do some sweaty hard work and then come back out and still have to do some sweaty hard work. That's two jobs
Hmm.
and one check. And it's like, no, 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 no. Now, if I do some sweaty hard work in the back, quote unquote, sweaty hard work in the back, and then I get to chill for the rest of the day, or maybe not even come in the building at all and still see a check. Okay,
You
I
know?
could work with you on that.
Because, shoot, if you're doing a fair, honest day's work, you expect a fair, honest day's pay.
Yes. And all that extra stuff they be trying to get you to do, you do them a favor, and then they do you. No, thank you. No, thank you. That's too much hard work for me.
Yeah.
I'm working hard on this job here, and in my place they say one person, one job. So then that means I can't do two jobs.
Yeah.
It's not in my union packet.
That's funny. But I will say, um, oh yeah, I'm gonna finish up the little other story about that teacher,
Oh yeah, yeah,
just in
yeah.
case anybody be like, wait, well, what was the other time where you had to like leave off of school? Yep, because it was some other kid. Because apparently Mr. Crumb was not that popular with a lot of people, and some kid was like, you know what? I'm tired of this teacher. Yeah, Mr. Graham, he messing with the wrong one. I'm about to get my gun, this, that, and the other. And he posted it on Instagram. I saw the whole thing, and I'm like, huh. And mom, look at this. Look at my excuse to stay home. And I stayed home because no, I'm in that class.
Did they
No,
expel that kid?
I don't know.
They should have. I mean, you can't make threats online towards anybody
Yeah,
these
no.
days. I know in the past that was okay in early internet, but
Yeah, but
not
now,
no more.
yeah, that's just evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Which I do find it funny. Speaking of that teacher, it's so funny that all these days loops back around to one of my friends telling me, "Hey, did you know that teacher, Mr. Graham, got caught kissing a student?"
Figures.
Huh? His 90-year-old what? Santa Claus? Why would he do that? Don't know, but apparently that was something he got caught with, and it's like that's crazy.
When you
That's common.
find people of authority, I've seen this. Supervisors get mad if a particular woman is getting a lot of attention from other guys, and it's like, why are you upset? And the reason why they be upset is because they want all her attention to be on them. So it can either go one or two ways. Either they will mess with the girl or they'll mess with the guy. If the guy's showing, let's just say a girl's working here and the guy keeps coming over trying to get her attention, and the supervisor don't want, he wants her to be free to he can mess with her, then he'll start messing with the guy. Unless he decides that he no longer wants the girl, so then he'll start messing with her. And it's like, wow, okay. And the fact that they be married don't matter.
That'd be the thing to be killing me. Like you put a ring on somebody and you're staring at somebody else. I don't get it. I tend to compare. I tend to compare it, and it's gonna be another funny comparison. If I'm ever, well, I am in a relationship, happily, and I tend to compare the person I'm in a relationship to a full course meal, while everyone else is gas station food. Why would I? Why would I risk my Olive Garden Applebee's menu that keeps, for a pack of noodles?
Greed. I call it greed, being greedy. They try to justify it with the whole, oh, I'm not getting what I need at home. Then why are you still there?
Or I just call it foolishness because it's just a simple thing of communication. Hey, hun, this is gonna sound odd, but I'll try something.
It ain't even, it's just greed. I feel like it's greed. You got something at home. You figure you got that locked down. So now you going out and doing other stuff. Because I've known guys through the years that have cheated on their wives or girlfriends. And I just be asking them, because I'm really curious. Why do you do it? What is the whole thing? And none of them go off the book, off the handbook. They all, my wife don't understand me. I'm not getting what I need at home. My girlfriend, she treats me bad. Oh, dude, I'm not getting sex. None of them go off the book. All of them be on. I'm sorry, none of them go off the script. They
Yeah.
all have the same exact stories.
I think that also is the same as the whole don't go into something feel like you need, like you're owed it. Because me, I don't feel like my girlfriend owes me anything, like, and then if there is a situation, I'll just go, hey, this is how I feel, and we'll talk about it. And every time we talk about it, we work things out, we become stronger together, and, as a result, yeah, and then it's like, okay, for the ones where they be like, oh, she's not giving it up. How do you not know this? Like, that should have been something you would have known she would have been up for since day one. Like, that kind of seems like one of those things would you know, right? You wouldn't just go into a relationship blind going, oh, let's try this.
Well, see, I can't comment on none of this because I am solo queen and I super love my single life. If my single life was a gaming profile, it would be worth $2 billion. I love my single life. I will never give it up. I did the wife thing and I did the girlfriend thing for a couple of times. And what I discovered is that ain't for me.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the single life. I love the fact that I don't have to compromise, work stuff out. Oh, I almost said it. I ain't got to compromise, work nothing out, nothing. I be with you, and then when I'm ready,
we're way past the 1 minute mark. Shoot, if you want to.
No. But I'm gonna be on my best behavior all the time, so that way I won't slip up some of the time.
That's a fun slogan.
Yes, I love the fact that I just do what I want, when I want, how I want, whenever I want. I can stay out as late.
No limitations.
Stay early, go do whatever. I make it all up as I go because I don't have to. And I'm not trying to. I've been approached many a times where people are trying to date me or lock me down in a relationship, and I'm like, no, thank you, I'm good.
I cannot be tied down.
I'm not for it. I'm really enjoying my single life. People think I be playing about that, but I really do. And
Mm.
when people I've gotten to the point now where even when guys approach me, I dodge it immediately. Like when I see, because I date younger guys, but I'll tell them in a minute, oh, you're too young for me. Or I have a husband. Or I'm gonna have to dig out my engagement ring again because I got an engagement ring that I bought for myself to be like, yeah, I'm engaged. Oh, in a
That's
heartbeat.
that's funny too, because like when I was talking about, oh, maybe I should like, bring out an engagement ring, maybe that'll have people leave me alone. He was like, if anything, that'll make
Oh
it worse
no,
for
that
you.
makes it worse. I can tell you
That's
that
just
right
so
there.
funny. Like, why is that so backwards?
That is, ooh, you
Like,
pull
you
out
put
that.
on an engagement ring, a bunch of guys, dang it, she's already married. I put on one, a bunch of girls like, well,
Well,
it's time to ruin this relationship.
just having it will deter some, but you do got some to be like, well, you can't have no friends. No, because he'll kill us both.
I'm already out of. My friends list is full. I'm all out of full slot. If anything, it's over full. Shoot, I'll be purging my friends list sometimes.
And you got guys that still. I tell them now I'm
Girl,
engaged, and they be like, "Oh, your man don't allow you to have friends. I could just be your friend." No,
trying to
no.
make a friend.
Yeah. I'm like, no, thank you. Because if I be your friend while I'm with him, that means later on I'll be somebody else's friend when I'm with you. And the one guy told me, "Nah, no, baby, I'm gonna do you so good, you ain't never gonna go nowhere." Okay,
Well,
okay.
how about let's grab my spirit animal for this one. You try grabbing a unicorn, right? And see if that boy stays put. Have fun. Where you going? Who said you can fly away?
I'm keeping my single life for right now. I'm definitely happy with the not having to do any of that relationship stuff. And for people who wants to be in a relationship, I won't knock it because I was married once and I did the boyfriend girlfriend thing for a minute, and but I just found out all that didn't work for me.
Yeah.
I really enjoy being single. I really do. It's so much for me. I enjoy the freedom.
Mhm. And then, like with me, I really enjoy having a relationship because I've been single for a good amount of time, and I don't like it. I don't like it's too much time to myself. I do get the
Maybe.
freedom, but it's like that's a little much.
Now, see, that sounds great to them, but in my eyes, you're only 5 minutes old. So it's like, oh, I've been single for so long. Like, what?
2 decades.
You're like 5 years old in my brain. So it's like, what? You was single for like 20 minutes? Like, oh, please. But yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah,
In
and
your world.
yeah, and then it's like on top of that, I like giving out hugs. I'm a very social person, so having someone who I can be social with and hey, hugs and all that, that's great. That's what I definitely enjoy. And even though mine does come with challenges, I don't mind that. It keeps me motivated, keeps me going, keeps me on my toes. I'm like, yeah, I don't mind a good challenge. This is fun. Hey, even when I first met her and saw that getting with her would be a challenge, I was like, yes, sir, let's do this. This is gonna be a one for the
Mm.
books. And I'm proud of what I was able because it's an accomplishment. It's something I'm able to earn, which is why I mean I'm not gonna knock on those people who get easy people, easy girls, easy guys. I'm not gonna knock on them, but that's not for me. That's a participation award. I want to earn. I want to run for what I have. I'm glad I got it. I feel like Usain Bolt, up there. Yeah.
For people who love their relationships and like being in relationships, kudos to them.
Mhm.
But for us solo people out there, I know there's some more people out there with me that you
Oh yeah.
living your best life single. I mean, woo! We out here. I
Yeah.
live for it.
And
I
I
do.
definitely respect that. That's definitely a fun way of going because your day is your day. It's nothing you got to plan. You do whatever you feel like. You want to rent something. You want to, and that's one of the things that's always funny when it comes to certain relationships. Based on how wild or extreme you want the plans to be, it's something you got to discuss first. Make sure it's okay with your other half, your other party. But if you're by yourself, you can buy a tank. Who gonna say something?
See how many see how many dates you can fit in a day. Like, yeah, Can I get up
make
to
a game
4?
out of it.
Like, I think I can squeeze in one more. I think I can pull a 5er today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, back when I was younger though, I wanted the whole picket fence and the
House on a
family and
hill
yeah, it
with
was
a dog and all. Yeah.
yeah, and I was going that direction. I got married young. I started having kids young. We had the house, and it was going in that direction. And it just got to the point where I was like, this is really not for me. It really is not. I
Mhm.
mean, it sounds good on paper, and it ain't sure look good on TV.
But
But
they do not show all the complications that go with it.
man,
None of the fine print, the conversations, the potential arguments, the what are we gonna eat? I don't know. The diaper changing,
well, you know what they don't show on TV? Like the real stuff. Like how you can be in the shower and then your significant other will come in there and take a dump and leave you trapped with their essence.
instead of going in there and joining you in the shower. No,
They'll
no.
go in there and take a dump,
And then flush.
Oh, it be so much stuff that people do in real life relationships where you just be like, uh, or they be farting in the bed or something like that, or
Yeah.
whew,
And it's just to the point where you have to realize being in a relationship is no different than really having like a roommate or a best friend.
no, you know what it's like?
Hmm.
You know how like when you have to share a room with a sibling
Hmm.
and the older you get, the more you hate it? Yeah.
That's funny.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, I do like there's like a lot of different ways people would, but me I tend to always like I think of like a lot of different relationships or whatever, like a video game of such. Acquaintances or people you see every now and again, that's just window shopping. You don't really talk to them, don't really interact. Um, friends of friends, that's like a demo. It's not truly your friend yet, but you have more interactions with them than some random, hey, hey. Then you get your actual friend. That's when you actually buy the game. You actually have it. You can return it at any time. You could trade it in for something else. But, it's up to you if you keep that. Then once you get your best friend, that's when you have like extra stuff or some kind of premium edition or something like that. Now, once they become your partner, that's when you have whatever the biggest selling bundle is. And then once you get married, that's when you start getting merchandise.
So for everyone over the age of 30, I guess you're gonna need a youngin to explain that to you to translate because that's like gaming stuff. Whew, over my head, like okay.
I don't know. I don't think over the age of 30.
Get somebody to Well, if you're not a gamer, you're gonna need
Yeah,
somebody to
'cause
translate that.
There's probably a 90-year-old gamer out there who's gonna see this. I understand that. That's relatable.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah. If
it's
you're not a
just-
gamer, then that analogy is probably gonna be over your head. Like it just went over mine. I was just like, well, wait, what did he say? Like, okay. Yes. So
But yeah, so overall, I do see them kind of mainly the same thing, just an evolved state of each one.
but that's all. That's what it's supposed to be.
Mm,
You're supposed to come together and grow as a couple and make things happen and y'all adapt and you change and you mold together and y'all come as a community once you start having kids and stuff and make things happen for your community and da da da. And it's like I can give great advice. I can give great relationship advice. But the best relationship advice for me is don't be in a relationship. That's the best one for me. But like, I told one of your sister's friends when she got married, everybody was giving the new couple, all this advice. Don't go to bed angry. Don't do this. Don't do that.
he's a
Da, da.
king.
Yeah. And I said, look, I'm gonna tell you, the best advice is not to take anybody's
Any
advice. Right. I said you gotta think of you two as a team. And then if you have any kids, that is also part of your team. And what y'all do is evolve and adapt for your team. You can't that's whatever somebody else is telling you, that's what happened on their team. it can't apply to you.
Yeah.
Because unless they got the 100% identical experiences, which there's no way that you
Nobody.
can, if me and you went to the grocery store in the same vehicle, even if we go in the same vehicle, automatically right there, we're not having the same experience. Because one person is driving, one person is riding. You don't even see everything the same in that dynamic. Because I know when I'm driving, I'm doing tunnel vision. I'm watching the road. I'm watching everything. I know when I ride, I get to see a lot. I be like, oh, when they put this here?
Oh,
And
hey.
how long is that building? I see a lot of stuff because I can look around and observe. Yeah. But yeah, just even that. And then once we get to the store, I park, even getting out of the car and walking. You're younger than me. I'm older than you. That's a different experience right there, too. Then we get in the store. Okay. I usually always be like, I want to push the basket. So I'm pushing the basket. You don't have one. That's another thing that's splitting our experience.
And a lot of times you'll look at things for like longevity, like, oh, is this going to go for the week, or what can I make that's going to last a few days? Well, I'm picking up a Lunchable, like, this is going to go great tonight. What's up? A bottle of water? Man!
Exactly. So it's like, it's impossible for you to have the identical experience. So it's like, you can't give, even if you see a happy couple that's been happy forever, they can suggest and recommend, but it's not possible for you to take their advice to heart and make it like the Bible.
Yeah, like, because not everyone's methods are going to work with every other person.
Exactly.
And that's something I even learned even in video games or writing or reading, anything. Because one thing that I've learned, one of the strategies I have whenever I have to like feel like one of those like reading problems in school, instead of reading through the passage, I skip ahead, read the questions first, and then I know what to look for while I'm reading. Because if I read first and then look at the question, I'm like, who the heck is Mary? And then look back.
You gotta go back anyway. Yeah, that is definitely. I used to do that too. It saves time because you read what they looking for, and then that way in your reading you go down. Because what I used to hate is you read the 4 paragraphs, and then you get to the first question and be like, what? And then you got to go back to it anyway.
Like you still got to skim through. Like they're not looking for you to actually memorize the story. They just want you to answer the questions correctly.
Exactly. Yep. So yeah, I would do that too. I would read the questions first, and then I know exactly what I'm looking for, and then answer it. Yeah. I don't know if a lot of people do that, but yeah, I was. That's funny to me because I used to do that for years. Like I'm not going through all this, and then you got to keep reading back. Like, wait, I remember in the second paragraph they said,
something about John.
Then you got to go back. Like, yep. That's definitely the best thing. Read the questions first, then go through it, and as you're going through it, you can answer the questions.
But everyone's different. Some people prefer reading first. Some people prefer just guessing, and somehow they get it right.
And I think that has to do with if you've not like read new information, but if you know the past information, then logically it would be you go on, because it's like if you was baking a cake and you got the flour measurements, the sugar, the eggs, and then somewhere on the page is missing how much vanilla to put in. But you didn't made like cupcakes and stuff in the past, and usually it's 1 to 2 teaspoons of vanilla. So you just be like, okay,
I'm gonna eyeball it. Logically speaking,
right. I figure it's gonna be 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Either it's gonna be tasty.
A little too vanilla.
Yeah, and is that a thing? Too vanilla?
Well, I mean, for certain contextual things, like whole different things that have nothing to do with baking, yes. But I don't know.
I don't know if they're... I think that's the one flavor. Like, can you go too far with vanilla?
I think maybe.
I don't think so.
Because like vanilla has its own flavor. It's not bland. It's not like water. Like you can't get 2 H2O. But
I mean, I've been cooking for a long time, and they'll say 1 teaspoon vanilla, and I'll add that. And it's been a lot of times I've added too much, and it's never been a time where I'll be like, "Ooh, it's too much vanilla in here." It's just I've never. That's one of the. You can definitely go too far with cinnamon.
Too far with chocolate, too far with
Too
strawberry.
man,
Well,
it's a lot of
for
flavors out
most
there.
people, too far with chocolate, not me.
But it's a lot of stuff out there. I've added too many strawberries to something, or I've added too much of this or too much of that, or the, but vanilla, it's like, can you go too far with vanilla?
I don't know if anybody thinks that.
Anybody had that experience where maybe you dumped the whole bottle and somebody was like, "Ooh, it's too much vanilla in here." I've never had that experience. That's the one flavor. Now other stuff, yeah, you can put too much rum in a rum cake. You can put too much chocolate in something. Not for you, but regular people. You can put too much strawberry in something. All that, and you just be like, "Oh my god," it's like overbearing. But is there such thing? I would love to hear that one. If somebody could, yeah, I once, and people complained. And not just, oh, I dumped in the whole thing of vanilla. I want to hear where you say, oh, I made a mistake and dumped in the whole thing of vanilla, and people actually was like, oh, there's too much vanilla in here.
Like just immediate, there's something different with this. This tastes a
Yeah.
little too strong.
I want to hear the complaints. I don't want to hear nobody talking about, oh, I accidentally dumped the whole bottle. Oh, yeah. We've all accidentally. I want to hear where you serve this up and people like, oh my God, this is too much vanilla.
Accidentally added a whole thing of chemical X, but what was the complaint?
Right. and lemon is definitely one you can do go overboard with lemon. Not for me. Now that's my lemon is your chocolate.
Yep.
Ain't no such thing as too much lemon for me.
Yeah.
Especially like just lemon water or lemon in anything. I give it to me.
Yeah. Now the only thing when it comes to chocolate for me is like there's a such thing as like too much dark chocolate. Because I can only do like I think my limit is like 70.
Can y'all hear me making that noise? I hate dark chocolate. It's so terrible.
You're gonna upset somebody's stomach with that.
I hate dark chocolate. It is not good. And I've had different types. I tried to get down. Oh, it's good for you. And it's this and it's that. And no. No, thank you. No, sorry, Bob.
Yeah.
And I would get like upset when people would give me gifts and they have dark chocolate in it. Then I found out 2 of my sons like dark chocolate. I was like, oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I actually don't mind like a bit of the bitter taste. Like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my limit is 70%. And honestly, I remember the reason why I even tried eating dark chocolate. Simply because I saw a cartoon character do it. And I was like, oh, he makes it look good. So.
Nope, can't believe things in cartoons.
I believe that one. That one wasn't too bad.
Oh my God. Just TV, period. Ooh. Life according to TV. Man, the myth versus reality. I'm telling you. Okay, so we had a cat. And I was going to give the cat some milk. And so the boy's like, no, Mom, don't give me no milk. And I'm like, why? And it was like, no. Mostly all
like
cats.
90% of cats are lactose intolerant.
Yeah, are lactose intolerant.
Very.
Yes. If you give them milk, it makes them sick. But every time you see a cat on TV, they giving them some milk.
And that's the same thing like with mice. They don't really mess with cheese. They like chocolate and peanut butter.
Yes, definitely chocolate and peanut butter.
Dogs don't really mess with bones.
They do give. Yeah, you're not supposed to give your dog a bone because it can choke them, kill them, all type of stuff like that. They give them the treat bones. You can give them that, but you're not supposed to give a dog. Yeah. Like, not supposed to give them bones.
You can give them collagen.
You cannot give an animal raw meat.
No.
Raw meat will make them sick.
Like how they be giving tigers and cats raw steak and all that. No, you have to cook that.
No, not for tigers and stuff though. But for domesticated animals.
Yeah, the wild animals, sure. But the domesticated ones,
you cannot give them raw food.
Because it's the same thing like humans. Like when we were wild animals and everything, we could eat raw meat. But now that we're domesticated, we eat our stuff cooked.
Yeah, you can't give
most
animals. Yeah, you can't give a domesticated animal raw meat. What was one of the other things that they said? Oh, and yeah, you can't give bones to none of them. You can't give them to cats. You can't give them to dogs. You can give them all the cartilage off of the meat, but no bones. The
Mm.
bones will break, splinter, get stuck in their teeth, stuck in their throat. It's possible you can do serious damage to your animal by giving them bones. But every time you see them on TV,
They're
though,
always chilling on
doggy
the
in a
bone.
bone and all
It's
that, yeah,
weird.
it's
And it,
crazy.
and then the crazy part is, I can only imagine like somebody will be watching this, like you can't give shoot them, throw that away. But I always find it weird whenever they be having the dog just chewing on the bone. Like, what does that do for you? Because there's no flavor on that.
To the dog, it is. I
Where?
gotta be they because the way they be chewing on it. But I think it's really too about their teeth. It's something that it does to
Oh,
their
like
teeth.
teething or like sharpening?
Not really sharpening, but I think keep it clean,
Ah,
keep their
okay.
teeth clean and
Yeah.
things of that nature.
Okay,
Now,
yeah, I guess. But
here's something I want to bring up. We talked about this before. Okay, so we've had cats. We've always had cats. We never really had a dog. We had a dog once, and it was like a loner. So and I know it's a lot of people's gonna say something about this because we can't be the only ones that know this. When you go to buy things for your cat, after going through lanes, share just 8 lanes of dog stuff, dog, and then the one little corner for cats. Like, what is that all about? Why are they playing the cat so scandalous? Like, what is that?
these communities cat racist. Like,
Man,
there's no other way about. Because you get major bags of dog food with wolves on them and everything. You got a bunch of dog toys, Clifford sponsored, all types of stuff. And then the cats can't even get a lion, nothing. You just get little chow chow, and then like it's such in a small corner,
the
hid
area.
behind some of the dog
Man,
stuff.
we would be walking like, okay, nope, still dog. Nope, still dog. Nope, still dog. Do they have cat stuff here? And then you go all the way to the end of the pet
To the
supply
back of the
area
corner,
in this little dark corner, and then they got a few bags of cat food on one side. You know, on the other side, it still be some dog stuff.
like a few toys, that one fly that goes out.
Yeah,
Like,
it'd be
are there
like,
spider webs over here? Like, what?
what is this? That is so
Are cats about to be extinct? Is this something
terrible.
I don't know about? And there's
Yes.
cats all over the place.
It's people. I want to say that people, and then you have like people, because like dogs, people will have a multiple amount of dogs, but not like people will have a multiple amount of cats.
Hmm.
Now you can have a person that can have 20 cats, but I've never really seen it where people have 20 dogs.
Yeah, like there's not the crazy dog person.
It's
You
like
know, like
crazy.
usually whenever you see the dog person, they're out, they're active, they're wearing active wear, walking with their multiple dogs. Oh guys, slow down with the hat and everything. But the crazy cat lady has a billion cats, and she's just sitting there. While they
uh,
rummaging through giant bags and everything, she's always wearing a sweater. Her hair's crazy. She be
but
talking to cats sometimes. Like, that's
yeah,
wild.
I feel like yeah, it is a little cat races around here. Like, and I'm like, okay, well, I get it. They all are cute and adorable, but why we playing the cats? Like,
So horribly. I wonder if there's any place out there on the way. It has to be. Has to be at least one. One place out there where the cats are like, there's a whole bunch of cat stuff and there's barely any dog animals.
nope, I doubt that. I doubt
Prob-
that highly.
Probably somewhere around in Egypt.
Nope, I doubt that
They
highly.
had cat dog.
No,
They had dog
I,
dog.
I
They had
doubt that
dog guys
highly.
too. And jackals.
Mm-mm.
Man. Probably in China.
Nope.
No,
I
no, no.
think in the year 2025, dogs is winning.
No,
Uh,
it might
Not
be.
like with people, but I'm just saying, as far as supplies, I think dogs are winning
Yeah.
when it comes to the supplies.
But I feel like probably somewhere in like Asia or whatever, because usually cats are like,
Revered
lucky.
highly and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Yeah, so quite possibly somewhere around there, that's where a lot of them.
Anybody from a different country can give us some feedback on that.
Yeah,
Like, hey, in this country, yes, the cat supplies are endless. I
yeah.
would like to see that.
Because
I would
like
like to see that.
the one thing I've noticed when it comes to like the two different pets, When it comes to cats, everything's a lot more cute, a lot more small, a lot more, oh, look at the little guy. But then with dogs, sure, they have a lot of cute things, but all their things are a lot more playful. Not really, I wouldn't say rough and tough, but
I
it's a
thought
lot
you was
more.
gonna say rough and tough.
Nah. It's kind of like the same way they kind of like split up like boy toys and girl toys. Like it's the same kind of premise.
In 2025, we no longer have girl or boy. It's just whatever you want toys. I think and I think they shouldn't even separate the stuff anymore. It should
Mm,
just all be together. Just
indeed.
whatever you want. Put all action figures together. Put all the well, they call them dolls, but the portable humans. No,
Portable
not
people.
portable. The portable people, yeah, make portable people figures. Yeah, and that could be, instead of calling them dolls, you call them portable people figures. And you can have your portable person. And then they have the action figures, and then they have the trucks and the toys and the baking kitchen simularies and all that stuff, and make the kitchens, now that we know that everything should be gender bendable. Stop making the kitchens the pink. Make them in blue. Make them in red. Make them in
Make it right.
yellow.
Some obsidian, man. Because like,
Yes. Get
I,
the little chef hat.
you know,
And it can be for girls, can be chefs too. They ain't gotta just have a little cute apron and baking cookies and stuff. Give the girl a chef hat. Like, she's
which
running the whole kitchen, and have the little her portable plushies telling her, "Yes, chef."
you know that or like, and then there be the one of the most adorable things I tend to see are like the stay-at-home dads. The ones where they got the apron, they be baking everything.
Oh
The
my
wife comes
gosh.
home, honey, I'm home. Oh, hey, dear, I made these fun little gingerbread cake.
Yeah, no. I've seen that on TV, but it's like, yeah, whoever stays at home, it's just like, hey, it's a personal choice. In a lot of homes,
Hmm,
everybody can't go out
true.
because times is getting crazy,
Oh my God, yeah.
and just leaving your child with a stranger, and it don't matter. Oh, they work in a daycare center. Yeah, well, predators know where the kids are,
You know,
so they
like
make sure
that's.
they work there.
Look at your bus driver. Look at him. Look at his eyes.
Yeah, they know where the kids are, so they tend to get jobs where the kids are. Cause I mean,
It's so crazy that the lines that an alien predator would have versus an actual human being, it's the same line, but the delivery is different. You have like an actual genuine person. "Oh, why do you want to be a bus driver or be a child caretaker? I just really love the children, Like I want to have children of my own. They're always so fun to hang around, so nice, full of energy. That's nice." And you got the other guy. "Why do you want to be a bus driver? You know, I just really love the children. I want to have kids of my own, like so full of life and energy."
that sounds so creepy.
Because it's the same line. It's
So
just the
creepy.
delivery. And it's like, oh
Yeah,
no.
that does sound creepy. And then, one thing that I think is so crazy is how they be like, "Oh, well, we run background checks," and that's a beautiful thing. But if their first victim is somebody that they about to mess with while they on the job, of course they ain't gonna have nothing in their background check. No.
Like
Yeah.
they're probably playing for this.
So it's like, I know all the systems that they have set up where it's so-called protection of children. I don't think those protections are real. They're outdated. They're
Mm,
very outdated. I don't
yeah,
feel like, they do enough. And then I'm definitely not leaving my kids with somebody when they can't talk.
yeah, no.
I want
And
them to be able to tell me what's going
precisely.
on. Yes.
And then on top of that, not only is the things like outdated, but I don't think they fully think of every single situation, right? Like, what if the person planned for this? What if the person is like a relative? Same thing like whenever they be like, "Oh, we're gonna try to catch a school shooter." Well, I don't mean to be that guy, but while you're telling your class this information, one of these things is not like the other. He's learning where everyone's gonna be. Like, what?
Exactly. Yes, yes. When you're going over the plan, the person who's going to be perpetrating the crime is right there listening.
You know, like
So it's like,
amongst one of us.
yes.
I found it funny that some dude did like a skit about that. Really hilarious. And he was like even talking about how one of the kids would be like raising his hand and like, so if we do have like a key that unlocks the classroom, would it unlock all the other classrooms? Sure it would. And
Where would that key be?
where would that key be?
Right.
You have all these questions.
Mhm.
How come you guys aren't answering questions like Timothy? Why is Timothy asking so many questions? Stop him.
Yeah, they anti-way. What did I want to say? Well, as the months go by, we are getting closer to my birthday.
I know.
Yes. And I was just thinking like, ooh, what do I want to do for my birthday? And it's like, I really can't think of anything. I don't know though. I think this year I'm going to still, because I'm still recovering from the surgery and stuff. I had major surgery done on my spine in December. So I'm still recovering from that and everything. And it's like, I want to do something great for my birthday, but then I don't want to rush either.
Mhm.
So I think this year, even though my headspace, because when I was going through the limited mobility and stuff, my headspace was terrible. I was just in such a funky spot.
Mm.
But now that I'm feeling better, like mentally, I'm stronger, physically, I'm stronger. It's like, okay, it's just a couple of months away. So it's like, I don't want to rush it because, you go too fast and then whoop, whoop,
Fall
whoop. And
apart like
then now I'm
Legos.
back to zero. Like, oh. So, but I think this year, I'm just going to take it easy. But next year, oh, look out.
Indeed.
And, which brings me to my physical therapy. My physical therapy, which is called Aqua Solutions. When I tell you I am not being worked on to get better, I am being trained to be a stellar ninja. I am going to be I don't know what I'm going to end up being, but I'm being trained. I feel like after I get done with this, I could be a spy or something. I mean, the stuff they had me doing, I'm just like, am I training for the Olympics? What's happening here? I just want to get better so I can walk. They be like, yeah, we're going to work on strengthening your core. And they be having me balancing on stuff. And I just be like, I don't think, am I supposed to be doing this? Like, oh my God. But I mean, I love it though. I love it. And a shout out to everyone at Aqua Solutions. I'm telling you, if you are thinking about going anywhere for rehabilitation therapy, oh my God, that is the spot.
Mm.
Definitely the place.
I mean, bright side about the whole thing, even if they are training you for the Olympics, once you get to that point, I mean, you ain't got to worry about, anything bad, like, oh no, my balance. Nah, you can do a one-handed handstand.
Man, I'm gonna be able to climb a wall, a mountain with not even using my feet. I'm just gonna be able to do just hands only and pull myself up. I feel like I'm gonna have Bruce Lee skills when I get done. Like, I mean, I'm really being trained for something. I'm just like, woo.
I can just imagine, like, after you're done, maybe I'll like be tired or something like that. You'd be like, "Oh, don't worry, Devin, I got you. Come on, my dear son, let's go." Just one-handed.
Man, I'm telling you, I feel like I'm really being trained to be an Olympic athlete. And I don't complain because they be asking me, like, you okay? I'll be like, oh, I live for this. I love it. Bring it on. Give me more. Yeah, so I'll never complain about it. I don't. I love it. I feel stronger every day. I just can't wait until I'm like 100%.
Mhm.
And baby, when I get to 100, whew, now I call myself the bionic woman because I got all those pieces and parts added. So when I start running for real, I'm gonna be having the music playing. Do 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 do. Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's funny. But yeah, it's just, that's hilarious. Oh boy.
So what
What
I
you doing?
have been doing
Mm.
lately is one of the things I miss being able to do is cooking. And so lately I have been cooking. I've been having my boys help
Mm.
and we've been turning out some phenomenal dishes.
Ah, yes. Like we made
Yes.
spaghetti the other day. Today we made chili. That was man.
No, that the spaghetti was a few days
Right,
ago.
it
The
was.
other day was the quesadillas.
How could I forget?
Yes, I made some for your brother, and I was like, "How was the quesadillas?" He was like, "Sensational."
You know, like
I
we
was
had
like,
to use big words because good ain't enough. And
"Yes."
that's another thing. Because for me, I've had good food. I've had great food. I've had phenomenal food. I've had food so good that my friends swear that I'd be cheating on my girlfriend with that food. Right? But with this one, and I don't know if anyone else had this. You ever had food so good where it kind of leaves you in shock? Kind of leaves you just sitting there? Because that's how that was. You made chili. I made some garlic bread. I put them together. I eat it, and now my hands are shaking. I'm sitting there just blown away. It's kind of like that one scene from Ratatouille where that one guy, whatever could do they was trying to impress, he had one bite of the food and immediately flashed back to his childhood. That's how that felt. I'm just sitting there stuck, having a whole like, what was that? Oh my god!
Yeah, because we got these ratty rolls. They didn't look like much, but it was like, hey, they were free to us. Somebody gave them to us, and I was like, I was looking at them. I was like, yeah, well, you know what? Let's see what we can do with them. And even when you took them out the bag, they still felt like hard, like crusty. So, what I was doing originally though, I was trying to make. I promised my friend some spaghetti when I made the spaghetti
Mm,
and I was going to make him some garlic toast to go with it. So I made it up, but he had came earlier than we expected. So I was like, "Well, I see you out there, but I'm making you some garlic toast to go with it." He was like, "I don't want no garlic toast. You ain't gotta worry about that." I was like, "Okay." So then we sent out the spaghetti and all that. Then so of course the garlic toast was already in the oven. It was already made. So I took it out and then so we tried it, and it was like, oh
my god, we
my
could have been
God,
having this the whole time.
man. And I was like, Lord. So we ate, everybody ate. I didn't have time to make more. And then today I showed Devin how to make it. So even if I'm not here, he can definitely do it.
Mm,
But I left, but Logan was here at the time. And Logan don't come out of his room. When he goes in his room, that's it. You don't see Logan no more.
man, more of a gamer than I am. He's just
That's
there.
it. He's in there. He'll come out to eat, and he'll come out to go to the bathroom, and that's pretty much all you see of Logan. That's it.
Sometimes he'll check on us.
Yeah, sometimes,
Yeah.
not often though. But and he came out of that room like, "Hey, what's up with that garlic toast?"
Like literally did one of these. So what a garlic toast
Yeah,
at?
he was looking for some more. So he got the last piece. I had one. Not a lot of
Wow.
bread for me. So and Devin had one. He got two. But baby, when I bit into that, I was like,
Oh
oh my
my
God.
lord.
Yes. And then so when I talked to my friend the next day, I told him, I said, we are so happy.
That you did not grab that garlic bread. Thank you.
Yes. Because in pure honesty, if he would have took it, I don't think I would have made any more.
I probably would have out of curiosity just to be like, so what did he have? You
I
know?
don't think I would have, not unless he would have called and been like,
Oh,
oh,
it
it
was
was
really
so
good.
good. Yeah. Then I probably would have made some more to see, like, hey, what are we
It
missing?
was the hubbub.
Yeah,
But
but
9 times out of 10, yeah, nah, didn't really think much of it.
yeah, I didn't really give it much thought till I tasted it. And I was like, oh my God.
And so I made a bunch more.
Yes. And Devin made a whole bunch more today. And I was like, I was tempted, but I was like, no, I ain't supposed to have it. It's bread. I ain't supposed to have it. So I
Mm,
let it go. But the smell of it.
yeah.
Yes. If I get my numbers low enough, I might. My numbers has just been mid range ever since they lowered my medication. So, but if I get my numbers back down again and I need a boost,
So I'm now just realizing I did it. I revitalized something that I thought I did really well as a kid. I didn't realize it until
Oh my God.
Okay, so does anybody have something you did as a kid that you're so proud of, but then as an adult you look back and was like, that was terrible. But like you kind of got to make it up to your child self to make it better, you know. So for me, right, I saw my mom cook a lot, and I was like, that's so cool. I want to do that, and I want to make something special, you know, that I was good at. I didn't know how to cook that well. You know, I barely knew how to make sandwiches, but I knew how to make toast. And I knew the one thing that made toast better was a bit of butter. So, as a kid, I dubbed it, please do not steal, my famous buttery toast. It wasn't famous. It was buttery.
It was definitely buttery.
It was definitely toasted. A little too toasted sometimes. I don't even remember the process. I think I like toasted it a little bit, then put butter, put it back in the toaster. It was some wild method. It made sense to me. Clearly, if I do it now again as an adult, I can do the same method on a skillet. It'll turn out well. But now that I've made that garlic bread with butter, that's my famous buttery. Do not steal.
Yes. And speaking of kids with their recipes, oh my God. They would make some monstrosities and then bring it to me like, Mom, look what we made. I'd be like, oh. I remember one Mother's Day that they made waffles. And the waffles had Skittles, it had sprinkles, it had marshmallows, it had syrup on it, it had butter. Was it peanut butter? I don't think it was peanut butter because y'all knew I didn't like peanut butter. And chocolate syrup. And they was like, Mom, hey, we made this for you for Mother's Day. And I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. And they was all standing around smiling, waiting for me to take a bite. And I was like, oh, Mom is so full right now because I actually just ate something. But I'm going to save this and I'm going to eat it later, okay? And they were like, okay. And they were so proud of themselves. And I just let them keep that. But I was like, Lord have mercy, that diabetes on the plate. Like,
because it was like it's something that looked pretty, it looked nice. All these things taste good separately. So putting them together makes sense.
Putting them together must have made sense. But yes. And I was like, oh my God. Yes. So everybody, I know everybody has gone through that where your kids call themselves making you something. It's so adorable, but yes, it will kill you if you eat whatever it is they make.
That reminds me of that time when I was watching Powerpuff Girls, and they really wanted to make something for their dad, and then he was like, what is this? Like some kind of like beets or something? And I was like, no, we made your favorite, liver and onions. He immediately was like, oh God.
Yeah, so Lord have mercy, those dinners that they make, or my surprise party where my cake was covered from head to top to bottom with just candy and different types of candy. And it's like, okay, it was cute for y'all, but your grandmother helped. It was like, you know better. What? Why would you? It was so much candy on that cake. I mean, it was just the gobs and gobs of candy on it. And I was like, is there any food at all? It was the cake, and it had all this candy on it. Then it was a bowl of candy, and then it was some Kool-Aid, and then it was some potato chips, and then it was some more like gum and all this other stuff. And I'm like, is there any food at this party? Like, sure. Everything was just candy, candy, candy. Like, oh my God.
That's funny because it's just, because I don't remember that. I think I was like really young.
You was young.
Not there at the moment. But that is so funny to just go, okay, I understand them doing this. Because that's a their skill set and mindset. You, however, you endorse this? What's wrong with you?
Right.
No,
and they ain't had no money. They ain't had no money, so
you bought
this shit.
That's definitely one of those. Mom, let me talk to you in the kitchen.
Yes.
Like you got a table.
She paid
one more
for
time.
all of that stuff, and it's like, okay, not even nothing, not one piece of food, nowhere to
Not
be
one piece of
seen.
meat, vegetable.
Nothing. Just all that sugar. Screw the meat. Just give me some vegetables. Give me a vegetable shot straight to the bloodstream
I
because
need a
I'm gonna need
vegan
it.
shot.
Yes, I'm gonna need it.
Definitely.
Yes, but oh Lord.
Well, that's
But
crazy.
it's I mean on the kid side though it's very cute. It's very cute, and
Mm.
you cherish those moments. But it's like woo,
With
Lord.
that being said, whenever I do become a proud father, thank you for telling me this stuff in advance, so I can make sure they don't just give me a whole bunch of candy on a cake.
Well, if I'm taking them shopping, it's not gonna happen. But
Well, yeah, because I trust you. You're not just gonna, you know what, kids? You know what we should get your dad? What, Grandma? Let's give him a whole bunch of Reese's cups. He's gonna love that.
oh no, tell him the story. Tell him the story behind the Reese cups. Tell him you gotta explain it.
So I don't eat Reese cups that much, or Reese's in general. I can only really have the Take Fives or Reese sticks, but I cannot do more than a singular cup, maybe one and a half. I can't do it. I'll feel sick immediately, and it's not because of the peanut butter. It's not because it's just Reese's in general. Reason why? Younger, me and all my siblings, much younger, and we're hearing about all these like giant candies over there.
Not hearing. Y'all saw them.
Oh, we
and
saw.
Big.
And we begged Mom to get these because you have to understand the candies we get would be like this big, but we're talking about
the giant. If anybody's ever seen it, these are big, huge Reese cups, big, huge candy bars.
Yeah,
I think they like 5 pounds a piece. They have them at like if you go into one of them candy stores in Vegas or whatever, they have them there.
I got you. I got the perfect analogy. I think this. You get a Reese's cup that's the size of this bag.
That
was
the
size of my hand. The bag. So, with that being said, me and all my siblings very excited to get this. I don't remember which sibling had what.
You had the Reese cups.
I know what I had. Yeah, that was the only thing that mattered.
Your sister, I got her. I think she got a Twix.
A giant Twix.
I think your brother Jay got the Payday. I remember
the eldest got the big Snickers. Yeah. So we all, are kind of really excited because we're kids, of course. What? And while we're going, at some point, everyone slows down. Me being the youngest, I'm over here thinking, oh, this will be easy for me. I love, chocolate and all that. I only get past, and there was 2 big Reese's cups. I got past 1.5. That was it. After that half, as a little kid, around the age of 5 or 6, I'm over, I can't do it no more. And it's surprising me because it's like, I'm able to eat. Keep in mind, this is the same kid who can go trick-or-treating on Halloween and be eating nothing but candy from sun up to sundown for 3 days straight and not feel anything. 1.5 Reese's. I couldn't do it anymore.
Nobody finished.
Nobody. We threw them away. I tried because we had the whole try not to waste food in the house. That was one exception. I had to waste that food in the house.
Nobody finished their candy at all.
No.
Everybody ended up throwing their stuff away. It was just.
And then ever since then, Mom just, hey, y'all want to get some giant candy? No. No, we do not.
Nobody wanted no more candy after that. Like, nope, we're good. That was hilarious.
To this day, I'll see like the giant candies, and I just get a little like Vietnam flashback. Like, no, I'm good. I'm good. So
that is hilarious.
Of course, 20 years later, I can only have a small little Reese's cup, and that's it. Because my body remembers, it's like, no, if we go past this one small Reese's, we're going to end up in the hospital. So.
Man, that's hilarious. Yes. But that's like me with McDonald's. I worked at McDonald's when I was a teenager. I think I started there when I was 16,
Mm.
and I worked there all the way until I was 18. And when I worked there, I would eat McDonald's. And at first you love it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm making I'm making quarter pounders with 3 patties on it, 7 slices of cheese, 20
Just
pickles,
going
dipping it
crazy.
in a big tub of ketchup with 20 onions and all. Oh, I was loving it. Loving it. And that lasted for about 2 whole weeks. And then after that, it's like, you be like, well, what
You
can you what
feel like you got a coating of McDonald's on your tongue.
Man, it just be terrible. You just be like, ugh.
Like you need
Even
a
think
new.
so. Years later, here we are, m- m- decades, 4 decades later. I will not. I still, I would take y'all. I'll take y'all in heart. When y'all was little, it's something about McDonald's and little kids. They love it. They live for it.
It's the happy man.
I don't know what it is, but little kids at McDonald's, they live for it. But baby, just even the smell, like,
Mm.
oh,
Yeah, and that's how I am because not only have I had my lifetime supply of Reese's,
he stole that from me.
yes, that one, yeah, you because anytime you like you got your lifetime supply of McDonald's, that's funny, and peanut butter.
I've had my lifetime supply of a lot of stuff. And when I say lifetime supply, let me explain. So during your lifetime, the way I figure, you should probably eat something and then you'll have it your whole entire life. And it would equal up to, let's just say, cups of pudding. Maybe if you start at, let's say, 4 or 5, you start having pudding. And if you like it, you have pudding. And I would imagine during your whole lifetime, over 365 days, starting from the age of 5, let's say to the age of 70, you would probably have about 9,000 containers of pudding, right?
Hmm.
Okay. I figure once I've eaten it so much, I've already exceeded that amount.
Hmm.
And I've already had my lifetime supply at an early age. I'm
Hmm.
not going to make it to 90 because I've already burnt that out at
Burnt
this
that
age.
bridge. Yeah,
Yes.
it's like whenever people are like, "Some, let me just eat this one thing, and that's all the sugar I need for this week." So it's like, yeah, that's how I am. I've had my lifetime supply of Reese's, of
Mm,
Buffalo Wild Wings, and of
mm,
Taco Bell
mm.
because I worked at those establishments. And there was one time my friends was like, "Hey, we're all hanging out. Where should we go? We're walking around." And they're like, "You want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings?" And my face immediately,
Absolutely
can
not.
we not? Like,
Right.
I'd rather, can we like play in the street? Like, I don't want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, you just get tired of it. It's
Uh-huh.
you no longer. I know now when I was younger and I worked at McDonald's, the best part about that was I worked at Eastland Mall. I don't know, does Eastland Mall still exists? I think it do.
Probably.
And they had a food court. So every restaurant you get a free meal when you're an employee. So we would swap our meals. Like I knew one of the girls at
Like,
Sabaros and Sabaros Pizza. So I would go and get my meal from Sabaros. And then when she got ready to get lunch, she'd come to McDonald's and get lunch, from McDonald's. And we would just swap up like that. And only people that did not play with us with that, we had different restaurants. Everybody was the Chinese food place. Cause it was like I guess family owned. They was like, no. They didn't eat nowhere else. Anyway, they only eat at their restaurant. And then they don't even eat the stuff they serve us. They make something
completely
different
different.
in the back. Yeah. So it was like, yeah, they didn't play with us, but all the other restaurants, we would just switch out.
Yeah, it'd be like that whole like lunch community. Like, oh, what'd you get? I got curry. What about you? Tuna sandwich. That's right.
Yeah. And that worked for a while too. And then after a while, after you've eaten out of all the restaurants in the food court, because there's only so
So
many.
many.
Yeah, and then you just be like, ugh, all of it, like, And then it's not even just thinking about eating it too. Like when you're out, you're not even thinking about it, and you be driving past and you smell
You smell the
good.
food, and you get that flashback in your stomach, and your stomach's like, you better not.
You be like, what is that? Yes, you can smell it when you driving past and be like, I don't want to eat here.
Mm-mm.
No.
But I will say, and this is the whole thing for my entire little family, we all have this where we just, because there's a lot of different places where it's like, Taco Bell for me, or probably Chick-fil-A for someone else, or, McDonald's for you. But for everybody in my family, Golden Corral, no. No.
Well, that's, you know what? Only because we were a band family and they played in high school marching band and we would travel. But the band director will always take everybody to eat at Golden Corral. So the first time you go to Golden Corral, it's like, hey, we're at Golden Corral. Woo! Oh, oh, oh. The fifth time you go, you're like, hey, we at Golden Corral. Okay. The 10th time you go, you be like,
Golden
okay,
Corral?
Golden Corral.
Okay.
All right. The 15th.
Maybe I'll try something different.
Yeah, the 15th, 20, 30th time you done rolled up to Golden Corral. You be
Just go. Oh, God.
And I know one time we actually went somewhere. It was a different restaurant nearby. We went there, and I even asked them, like, is it okay if we bring our food in here because we're with this group? And he was like, yeah, sure. They didn't have no problem with it. It was the group. Oh, y'all terrible. If the people who own the establishment don't care,
then why do you?
Why are you tripping? Yes, but it was like, whatever. I just couldn't do it no more. I just couldn't do it. I was like, it's cost effective. I get it. And then they got 27, no, they got more than that. Different selections and stuff. But
after a minute, it's
still
kind of
the same
thing.
Yes, it's the same food. You ain't getting away from nothing.
Well, with that being said, seems like my phone is dying. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Hopefully you enjoyed this fun episode of Box of Topics, because you never know what you're going to get.
Don't forget to like
and
subscribe and share. Woo! Yes. And don't forget to comment.
Oh, yeah.
I want to hear what y'all's opinions. And trust me now, if you want to say Mama J is right, feel free. Feel free. This is all over the page. Just feel free to chime in with that one. We welcome those. We welcome those comments. I'm talking for him now. Like, we welcome that. Yeah, Mama J is right, and it don't matter what I said. If she right about everything, it's cool. We like that. We like that. Yes.
I mean, like, if you feel like, you don't have to. But yeah, whatever crazy school stories or.
Yes, we want to hear all your crazy stories. Oh, please bring all the crazy. We want to hear about all the crazy. We want to hear about it. And yes, for our next topic, we're gonna let's start off with the crazy.
Okay, yeah. I'll try to bring something.
Let's start off with the crazy on the next one. Yes. Okay.
But alrighty, tune in next time.
All right.
Let me go ahead and end this.
How long we go this time?
I don't know.